Alright, so from the Bible, this is the absolute best chapter. It's 1 Corinthians 7 1 to 21 about marriage and how the Bible sees marriage and dating. So here we go. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, that means intercourse, and likewise the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one to another, except if you consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath proper gift of God, one after this manner, another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them to abide even as I. So Paul was single, that's saying abide single. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. So look what it's saying. Do not depart from your husband if you're a wife. A lot of wives are breaking that 1 Corinthians 7:10, 11. But as if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, so this is a one believer, non-believer. BJ sells praise to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let him not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. So notice it says, do not leave. So if your wife becomes a Christian and you're a husband, don't leave. If you're a husband and your wife is not a Christian and you are, don't leave. It says Corinthians. Let's continue. 7:14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are ye holy. Are they holy? But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as God has distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I all the churches. If any man being called circumcised, let him not become uncircumcised. If any man be called uncircumcised, let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he is called. So I'm going to stop right there. So look what it's saying in the last few minutes. If you've got a believing husband and an unbelieving wife, remain married. If you're single, remain like Paul and continue to be single, because Paul was single pretty much his whole life. And finally, if you're a man and you constantly are burning with passion, lustful passion, it's better to marry than to burn with that passion. Thank you and have a great day. From Clark.